to our news. I'm Kyle Joaquin. Thanks for joining us. Topping news tonight, despite widespread backlash, former Court of Appeal President Dame Joan Sawyer is standing by her controversial comments regarding the upcoming referendum. Dame Joan says she still believes the referendum is a waste of time, asserting the government needs to take responsibility and stop passing the buck on an issue that she says has the nation disturbed. Vonnie Toot reports.
Former Court of Appeal President Dame Joan Sawyer didn't mince words as she sought to explain her reasons for calling the upcoming constitutional referendum a waste of time. Dame Joan, who says she was asked to comment on next month's gender vote, made it clear that she is not trying to influence anyone, but simply give facts.
I didn't come into this. I didn't volunteer this. Somebody called me and asked me what I was going to do. I answered truthfully and honestly. And I honestly will not vote for something that I think is a waste of time. If you have a job to do, don't try to pass the buck on to somebody else. Do it. And this is the passing of the buck, as far as I was concerned.
However, in light of the public's reaction to her initial comments, Dame Joan says she felt she owed it to the Bahamian people to give the reasons for her position. She explained that the Bahamas Nationality Act, under Article 13 of the Constitution, makes provisions for most, if not all, of the issues of citizenship raised for consideration in the referendum.
They could have done it by a statute, or they could have done it in the Nationality Act. If it wasn't sufficient, they could have amended it. They could do what they want to do. But they must have the intestinal fortitude and the spirit of discernment to do what is right to all manner of people. And they must have the determination to do that, and not to hide behind an unnecessary referendum. This will be the third referendum in less than 15 years.
This government held a gaming referendum in 2013, while a constitutional referendum was brought by the Ingram administration in 2002. Both failed. Dame Joan argued that the only issue that should be addressed by way of a referendum is Question 4, which seeks to end discrimination based on sex, defined as male or female. However, she said the other bills, like number 2, would only require government to amend legislation.
The government could deal with that in the Nationality Act or the Immigration Act. They have the power to do it. The Constitution gives them power to do everything that is necessary for the good governance of the Bahamas. So why is it that, are they trying to give the impression that this is a participatory democracy as in ancient Greece, where every citizen had the right to go into the assembly and make their comments? Are they going to do it for everything that comes up?
Dame Joan noted that in 2000, government passed a series of acts to deal with the distribution of property on death and inheritance laws without a referendum and without complaint. To pretend a referendum is needed in this instance, she says, is passing the buck.
I would have thought those who advise governments and leaders of opposition would do their thorough research and then make a recommendation. You don't disturb the whole nation for something that could be done in the heartbeat if they wished. Why upset the whole nation like this? And by blowing up taking my comments and twisting and and adding whatever they wanted to add, they've disturbed the whole nation.
A fierce debate has raged in recent months over the referendum. Dame Joan's comments also drew strong reactions. However, she admits she hasn't read any of them, except one.
And that one was by Mrs. Lynn Hollowesco, who said I was callous.
What do you think about that?
She's entitled to her opinion. But I always remind myself when I do stupidness, like, telling my grandson, pick it up or whatever. And he would say to me, Grammy, Grammy, and I would say, yeah, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. I'd quote from the Bible to him, you see, and I quote that to myself. So she's entitled to her opinion. I respect it, but I let God be the judge of that.
Dame Joan argued that if the fair is that a statutory provision will not have the force of a provision in the Constitution, that is not a matter that can be solved by amending the Constitution, but requires amendment of heart by those who administer the law. She urged government to give the public all of the information.
Give them the whole story. Let them make a decision based on truth, not emotions not what you say. Do not try to put things down, run things down my throat, because I will not accept it.
Reporting for our News, I'm Vonik Toot.
But